Well, hey y'all, so this is John and Jackie, and we are at Wine Squared, and this is Art News. This week on the live show, which if you haven't checked out, go to our YouTube channel, John painted Elvis. And I thought, with that, I was kind of curious about the whole velvet Elvis craze and where that came from. Mostly because, well, I own one.
I didn't know that about you until a few days ago.
Everybody
could have changed everything.
Yeah, well, everybody should own one. So in looking this up, it was kind of interesting. Apparently, velvet painting dates all the way back to the ancient city it came from, Kashmir, where the fabric came from. And it was later brought over to the Western world by Marco Polo. And then if you fast forward to the 1970s, in Juarez, Mexico, it became really popular as paintings that people would bring back from visiting their tourist sort of attractions. And while being out there, a Georgia farm boy by the name of Doyle Hardin saw this, and he thought, you know what, I'm going to open a factory. Odd. And so he basically opens a factory where they literally factory line these paintings, where somebody will work on one part and then pass it down the line, and then somebody else will work on another part. And that's what caused sort of this explosion of velvet paintings that you see today. And the two most popular figures that are painted on them is Jesus and Elvis.
Oh my word.
Yep.
That's cool.
Yep.
And I always thought cashmere was just a sweater. Marco Polo was a pool game.
Now.
You learn so much through Art News.
Much more than that.
Well, when it comes to acquiring art, there actually turns out there's a big difference between men and women. There's a study that's been done. And in the study, they've taken hundreds of pictures of paintings, and it's unknown art. And next to the paintings, they've put a bio with it. And all the bios are made up. They're completely fictitious. But with the bad art, they always have a good bio. So it's a bio of like this imaginary artist, but he's amazing. He's got all these shows and exhibitions all over the place. Well, as it turns out, men fall for it almost every time. And even though the art is very bad, most guys will say, "Oh yeah, I'll buy it. I like that artist, sounds amazing." Where women will look at it and go like, "I don't like the artwork." And to me, I think that's interesting. So it turns out that men are more about the artist and women are about the artwork.
I think that's interesting. It makes me think that maybe, because women sometimes they'll be attracted to something because of an emotional connection, whereas like maybe men are more about the story that they could tell that goes with it, sort of like puffing out your chest mentality, or I don't know. That's interesting.
That's a good way to put it. I know for me, whenever I acquire artwork, it's like building a relationship, and maybe it's that way for other people. I know for a lot of guys, like if something sounds good, if it looks good, then they're all about it, where women are often looking for something more deeper, a deeper type of relationship. I think women are smarter along the board quite a bit, though. I mean, if you look at the best friend for a woman, the so-called best friend, what is it usually?
Well, a diamond.
Yeah, smart. For a guy, what do we choose?
Long-term investment.
It's a dog.
Yeah.
For guys, it's dogs. But I don't want Echo to feel bad. She's laying down there, and I still love you, Echo, but I am a dude, so you got to take that with a grain of salt, I guess. And there are thousands of naked blue people descending upon city streets. Yeah, but don't worry about it. It's a new. It isn't the new Avatar movie. They're not having like a kegger or something.
Fun.
Yeah, that would be kind of fun, wouldn't it? No, it's the artist. It's the exhibition is called The Sea of Hull. And it's the artist. I'm not sure how to pronounce his name. I want to say Spencer Tunick, but I'm going to go with Tunick because you don't trust anybody in a tunic.
Oh, I don't.
Oh, no, of course not.
Never.
But the whole thing, though, is he's painted all these naked people blue. And the aim of it is to celebrate his relationship with the sea, as well as a warning about climate change. I'm not sure how that is climate change, but I don't know. To me, it almost seems like Gargamel finally won, because all the pictures apparently are of these people laying down, they're motionless, and they're, it's like they're dead, a sea of dead blue people. Or I always wondered how the Blue Man Group bred new members, so maybe this is it.
Sure.
They got in touch with Spencer.
So, on a different note, but also sort of blue, there is a crayon initiative going across different restaurants all over. And just to give you guys sort of some information about this, sort of PSA, I'm sure some of you have been out to restaurants where your kids might get crayons with their menu or something and wondered, where do all these crayons go? I know with us, they go in my purse for a week or two. But if they don't, then they actually get thrown away and they get tossed into the landfill, which wax is not biodegradable and it will sit there forever. So while at dinner with his family, Brian Ware, actually in 2011, he thought the same thing. He wondered where all these went, and he decided, let's do something about it. So he created the Crayon Initiative. And basically, if a restaurant participates, you can give back your crayons and they'll recycle them. And so if you don't notice the sign on the front of a restaurant, you should mention it. And also there'll be links in the description. So yeah, check it out. It's a pretty cool thing.
Man, that does sound cool. And if the homework from your children starts coming back and it smells like tacos and pizzas and other food from your area, yeah, you'll know why. Well, guys, thanks so much for joining us here at Wine Squared out on the patio. And if you're ever in Denton, come check this place out. It's really cool. It's been here for years. But thanks for joining us at Art News.
Thanks.